Hello, welcome to Staffingbook and this tutorial, which will cover the basic functionality for a candidate using the Staffingbook system. First of all, we'll log in as a candidate. Imagine you've already opened an account and you arrive at your home page, a familiar page with contact requests, messages, sponsorship activity. Staffingbook strongly encourages candidates to be sponsored by a recruiter in our system. You may request a sponsor after you create an account, or in some cases a recruiter may contact you and invite you to open an account with Staffingbook to be sponsored and be sponsored by them. Here's the home page. If we look at the profile of the candidate, again, we have what's called a quick profile here with very basic information on yourself. You can edit this information by clicking here. We have a detailed profile as well, which you create in a fashion that will allow employers to be able to identify your strengths and your skill sets. Again, you simply select Edit, and you can manipulate and change any of this information as necessary. Maybe the 14 years is now 15 years. Industry experience, you've also worked in the aerospace and defense industry. Let's add that. Maybe at this particular time you are not looking for a permanent position, but more looking for a contract position. So you can make those kind of changes as well. Skill sets, perhaps the most critical aspect in being matched in employer searches is to have a healthy list of your skill sets with your proficiency at each level. This is obviously a profile for a IT web developer professional, skill sets in these areas. One can quickly add other skills. Once you add them, then you can add a proficiency, beginner, intermediate, proficient, or expert. It's easy to delete a skill set simply by clicking the X. We can change our degree, our educational background, enter new information, certification. Maybe I also have a Cisco certification. Let's add that. U.S. citizen, information on languages you might speak, information on your current company and your previous company. So a lot of information that can be useful in the hiring and staffing process. We also have a number of what we call softer questions or lifestyle questions. Your willingness to commute. Maybe you are a person willing to commute a long distance to work. Maybe on an ongoing basis, travel is something that you are willing to travel, say, 50% of the time. Relocation, maybe you're willing to relocate within the U.S., maybe you're not willing to relocate within the U.S. Security clearance, do you have one? If not, then you don't need to indicate so. And finally, what we call the work culture questions. Basically answering questions regarding your interest in leading teams versus being a member of a team. Do you like a structured environment or a more creative environment? Things that will help match you up well with the employer's environment, as well as references. We ask for references to be included as well. So what you've just seen is the privacy protected profile, or the complete detailed profile. Let's now look at the privacy protected public profile. The same candidate's profile looks very different. There's no name, there's no image, there's no resume, no video, no mailing address. I can see their skill sets. I can see their degree. I cannot see where they went to school. I see the certifications we just added Cisco to. I can see additional information. I cannot see their current company. I can see the previous company. I have information on the lifestyle questions. I do not have the work culture or the references. Again, these are withheld until you, the candidate, have determined that this is a position you want to pursue. So trying to build a clear picture of the difference between the detailed profile and the public profile. This is a key aspect of the Staffingbook system, that your privacy is protected, and only after you and your recruiter sponsor agree do you release your remaining information, your identifiable information, to that particular employer. Let's look at something we call settings up here. It's very important. When you create your account, you're going to want to initialize your settings. What is your availability? Are you available on very short notice, or are you available more on a 60-day time frame? Again, these are for opportunities that you elect to pursue. To be viewable by employer searches and to come up as a fit or a match, you have to be active. So if you've selected inactive, you won't appear anywhere. So let's cancel that. Let's remain active. And then privacy settings, we have standard, which is our recommended setting, and then we have custom, which is a privacy setting that allows you to release certain additional information that potentially could be used to identify you. So in some cases that may be advisable, but we generally recommend that you stick with the standard privacy setting. And if you want to see what's included there, you can click on privacy settings, and you can see all of the different parameters regarding your profile and whether they are private at this moment or public. And these are the default settings that we recommend. If we go for a moment to requesting a sponsor, and again, this is a key aspect of Staffingbook, that you have the ability to be matched and paired with an experienced recruiter in your industry, potentially in your geography as well, that you can compare notes with, review opportunities together, discuss a particular employer. These recruiters can add substantial value to your career management process, and they're there to assist you. And yes, if you are placed in a position, they will receive a placement fee. Let's search for request a new sponsor, or request a sponsor. And let's just see what we have here in this database. And if I scroll down and find, okay, here's someone I'm interested in, Recruiters Inc., Barber Recruiter. I have placed over 150 IT professionals over the past 8 years. I can view her profile. Let's click on profile here. I see information. She's located in Philadelphia. Here's her web address. I can look at that. I'm feeling pretty good about her, and I'm going to request her as a sponsor. So I simply indicate request for sponsorship. Now that request has gone to Barber Recruiter, and I simply wait for a reply. You can select multiple sponsors, but you can only accept one reply, one acceptance. So typically we recommend that you pick your first pick and wait a day or so and see what kind of response you get back. Let me also look at some inquiries here for a moment. And it looks like I do have an inquiry that came in on November 15th. It's still pending. It's from a company called Aerospace Avionics. They need a software team leader. Let's click on that. And I would have also received this on my home page as a message. So this is a important item for me to attend to, and I would have been notified in multiple ways. Basically, they've identified me as a candidate for a software team leader. Here's a very brief job description. It's a direct hire position. The employer is Aerospace Avionics. And I can view the profile of Aerospace Avionics by clicking here, providing me some additional information on them. Not too much information in this case. But I can accept this request or I can reject this request. And in most cases, by this point, I would have been contacted by my recruiter saying, Aerospace Avionics is interested in speaking with you. Here's what I know about the opportunity. Please review and let's talk about whether we want to release your information and pursue a potential interview with them. So I can accept or reject this request at my choosing. If I accept, it will release my remaining information to Aerospace Avionics, and we will proceed from there. Let me also show you, update your monthly status report. On a monthly basis, we ask all Staffingbook candidates to indicate that their settings are current. We ask you again just to look at those settings. Let's quickly look at those settings. Available on 30 days notice. I still want to be active. my privacy is set to standard, so I'm fine with that. I ask you how many interviews you've had this month, if any, and if you were placed this month, and if so, with whom. We also have a refer a friend feature here, application. If you've got people you want to share Staffingbook with and encourage them to take a look, you simply type in their email address right here, joe@sab.com, submit, and you've got an email going to a friend to inform them about Staffingbook. So this really concludes our brief tutorial for today. Thank you very much. If you have specific additional questions about Staffingbook, please visit the resources page at staffingbook.com. Thank you again. Goodbye.